All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the May Brooklyn DD Council monthly meeting. Hope everyone's doing well and enjoyed this beautiful weather weekend we just finished. Hopefully, this is all we have going forward. We have Memorial Day next weekend. Hopefully, everyone's excited for that and we get some good weather. Couple of things. Hopefully, you guys got my emails. There's a few topics we have to discuss for the council. Hopefully, we'll have an OPW update today. I know they were both double booked, so they were going to try to make it on. I know we have Kate from IAC, so we'll get some good updates from that end. And then we have Petro and Harold from GymGuyz who are going to do a brief presentation after the updates. If you guys remember, they were supposed to be with us in February, so we were able to get them, and they will also be at our fair coming up next month at Brooklyn College. So appreciate them coming on to give you guys some updates on how they support the population. So let me start with some Brooklyn Council updates. So as I just mentioned briefly, June 18th, Brooklyn College Family Support Fair. It was a great event last year. I think it'll be an even better event this year. We have the 360 photo booth returning. That was a lot of fun for everyone last year. That was in one of the food rooms. Just a nice way to have some additional fun during the day. As of this morning, we have 63 agencies registered, and we have over 325 people registered to attend. So registration is still open for about another week and a half for agencies that want a table. For anyone looking to attend, families, individuals, professionals, whoever you are that you just want to attend the event and network, that registration will remain open until the night before the event. But it is important to remember Brooklyn College has a lot of rules and security. Make sure you bring ID with you. They will be having you check in at the security gate aside from our check-in at the student center. They do have security to get into the student center. So make sure please bring ID with you. They really didn't give much of a hard time to anyone last year, but just in case your names, the list of registrants will be submitted to them, so everything should go fairly smoothly. And if you are an agency that registered for a table and you haven't paid yet, please send in the check as soon as possible. That would be greatly appreciated and helps us just keep everything running smoothly. All right, next topic from the Brooklyn Council. So we have elections due next month. As we mentioned at last month's meeting, all of myself running for chair, Marjorie running for provider vice chair, Rochelle running for parent vice chair, Chris is running for treasurer. So really no changes there. The only change on the slate of officers is Marion will no longer be running for secretary, and Nigel Thompson from Kindred Bakery, who's supported us a lot of events, put his hat in the ring to run to replace Marion as secretary. So that's the only change on the slate of officers. Debbie received no interest or no names put forward for from anyone else for any of the positions because anyone can run for any of the positions. It's an open election. But if by the end of today's meeting we receive no additional names, at next month's meeting we'll present the slate again and we'll just require one vote to elect the current officers and elect Nigel as the replacement as secretary. So if anyone does have any questions with that, you can certainly reach out, put questions in the chat, ask your question now, but that's pretty much how it's run in the past. And if you are interested in getting more involved and not necessarily wanting to be an officer, please reach out to us. We can let you know how you can do that, be part of a committee, or just a support in another way. We're always looking for more support. As most of you know, we are all volunteers doing this, in addition to family life, regular jobs, whatever else is going on. All right. I think
Excuse
that
me,
was it for
Josh,
council update.
can I please give, we should give them my email address again, just in case they have, they change their mind and want to run for an office.
Okay. You can put it in the chat. That's probably the best way.
Okay, if you need in the chat, but at least letting you know. Wait a
Yep.
second.
That's perfectly fine.
Mm.
But we asked, try to get it in by the end of today. You've had 3 weeks
Mhm.
since we last asked, and just to make it easier, try to get it in by the end of today if you do have interest in running against one of us for the officer spots.
Wrong, excuse me, I'm fixing it.
All right, so I think what we should do is, I'm just double checking with the emails from Nina and Lucy. I didn't see either of them on yet. They both had a conflict, so they were gonna try to call in between 10:15 and 10:30. So my thought is that, Kate, if you're good to go, we should probably jump to you first, and then we can let them come on after if they're able to make it.
Fabulous. Hi, Brooklyn. Good morning. Nice to see you. I'm looking forward to your fair next month. Exciting. It's always exciting. You know what, last year I was too shy to do the 360 photo booth. So that's my we'll see if I can.
Listen, it's a lot of fun. They forced me to do it, and I did not enjoy that part, but it was fun until they tried to get me to dance in front of everyone.
That's it. That's exactly it. All right. So I'm gonna work on it this year. But I'm really looking forward to the event. Thanks. Thanks for that encouragement, Brian. Good morning, everyone. It was a really beautiful weekend, so I hope everyone had a great time. From IAC, an update on the state budget. So for OPWDD, we received the 2.6% unrestricted targeted inflationary increase. And again, that's for the majority of titles except for executive level. 25 million to increase accessibility for our clinics, 15 million for independent supportive housing, $30 million for new services, new service models, new service types, and 38 million for minimum wage increases. And then there were some other proposals in the governor's original budget. For the state education department, the majority of the funding for the 853 school age programs, special education programs, and 4410 preschool special education programs happens outside of the state education budget process. So that remains to be decided, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But the big issue that we were advocating for in the state budget was FAPE 22, meaning the funding to include the funding for students to remain for that additional year of eligibility, which has been moving its way through litigation actually. So that was not included. The language to amend the law was not included, and the funding was not included, which leaves students, families, and schools in the lurch for clarity surrounding the students who are aging out. The issue has been that at this point, there is no clear guidance from here in New York City, the central special education office around FAPE 22. And each district and sometimes district administrator is doing it their own way. So some students are being told that they can remain until 21 and 364 days. Other students are being permitted to remain until June 30th of the year they turn 22. And other students are not being permitted to remain past their 21. So that's tied up in litigation. It's creating a lot of confusion. But you know, if you're having a conversation with a legislator, you can advocate for FAPE 22. It's again, it's tied up in legislation, but we need some guidance, and that's the issue right now. Still advocating for other requests, 2.9% trend factor, meaning it's a 2.9% increase in our rates, a 5% enrollment adjustment factor. I don't want to get in the weeds there. 4% for multidisciplinary evaluations, which have not seen rate increases in line with inflation for years and years and years, and we're losing evaluators. And then for IAC, we're advocating for capital funding for 853 and 4410s, which is important because you need your building to stay up, right? We all need roofs. And then again, really challenging, it was nothing again for early intervention. So that's something that we're going to target moving forward here at IAC and in coalition with other organizations to strategize around ways to improve that situation in the coming year. And of course, well, let's move on to the federal, because the situation and circumstance that is overlaying all of this is, of course, the federal circumstances and the situation coming from Washington, because depending on the cuts to Medicaid, legislators fully expect to be coming back and rebudgeting for certain programs. I mean, for all programs. The impact of Medicaid cannot be overstated. And the impact of, I know there are many programs that we're all watching, you know, the ACL and others that have been targeted and that have been dismantled. Of course, the Federal Department of Education is one, but you've seen lots, you know, Head Start is under threat. We've closed regional offices for OCR. The state is, yeah, the impact of losing Medicaid funding is going to be quite dramatic. So the Energy and Commerce Committee, I believe, and I apologize, I was tied up on a call early this morning. I know that it moved out of committee. The disagreement among GOP members is actually is about a lack of sufficient cuts, right? So the more hard right Republicans are concerned that this adds to, and it will add to, all estimates are that it will add to the deficit significantly with the tax cuts that are included in this, to extend the tax cuts and then also to increase some spending in some other areas. This is going to add dramatically to the deficit. And so the goal is not to just restore some of these programs in the proposed budget, but actually to make much more severe cuts. So some of the proposals have been around work requirements and around eligibility requirements. So instead of applying every year for services, applying every 6 months, which, as we know, will prevent many people who are eligible and should be eligible from retaining their coverage. Lots of people will no longer be eligible for coverage, and then will, you know, it'll be a tremendous strain on our local hospitals, et cetera. So continue your advocacy. If any of us live in a district that has a Republican, you know, majority party member of Congress, please reach out to them. Please call their office and ask them to no cuts to Medicaid, no cuts to Social Security, obviously, to restore those offices, to ensure that there are office hours available. There's a lot there. Brian, I'm sure you're talking about that, but it's hard to overstate just the impact of what's being proposed at the moment.
And also, yeah, and we shared stuff, and to please click, when we send out the 1-clicks or send out the calls, it takes a few seconds. And I know phone calls are way more important or way more impactful than emails, but as Paula talked about last month, just overwhelming them. It doesn't matter if it's a call, an email, showing up at an office to take those steps. Kate, I see Paula has a hand up. I think she has a question for you.
Great. Sorry.
Hi, Kate. I just have a kind of question / concern about FAPE 22 in terms of, do we have an idea what districts are the ones who are approving until age 22? I want to gauge if either, you know, the more affluent districts are the ones going along with leaving kids until 22, opposed to our Title I schools. So I think that's something to watch for, because once again, if that is the case, that the more affluent districts are able to put the money for the kids to stay until 22, opposed to our Title Is, once again, you know, there is something going on there that is not okay for our kids in Title I schools.
Very good question. I can look into it and try to get you some information. I can tell you that we have different decisions in the same CSE, but whether or not the district itself, and then also that districts upstate or in Westchester are have permitted students to remain, whereas the municipality next door has not. So it's but a very good question. Thank you, Paula.
And I just want to add in really quick, a lot of the budget stuff that Kate is talking about, I know it gets confusing and overwhelming.
Yeah.
FPI, Fiscal Policy Institute, They did a free webinar last week. I actually just posted it this morning on our website so everyone can view it. They're actually doing a second one today at noon on the education budget impact for how the cuts will impact the education world.
I was just gonna put that in the chat and I'll do it
Yeah.
now. If
So you
you're-
can share it in the chat but if people can't get on, because we understand you're here for a few hours and you're gonna expect it to go there. I will also, once they share it, because they do record it, I will also put that on our website, so you guys can access that as well.
Awesome. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. We have our education committee meeting, so today, so I'm gonna have to jump off after this, but I wanted to echo the same thing, that their education expert, and this will be around the public schools budget, and they'll really take a deep dive into that, but also into they're doing a little bit of higher education, more on the enhanced child tax credit, and then funding for the child care subsidies. So if you're interested in that, they really do a nice job of keeping it. Look, it's definitely wonky, but also conversational, and you can put information in the chat. And in general, there are lots of folks there who are stakeholders, decision makers, and it, in my experience, it has been more of a conversation from such a think tanky type of place. It's a good place to get information and ask questions. Chris, you're laughing.
Yes.
You have a couple more hands up there,
Yeah.
Kate.
Hi, Brian. This is Chris Wright. I have my hand up because I'm actually in Rockaway, so I'm just to let you know, because I know, forgive me names, just to let you guys know, I did see the governor this morning as well as some elected officials. They definitely are talking about more about what you mentioned, Kate. She is still fighting regarding Medicaid because she does not like to hear the word CUT. So just to be aware of that. And right now, I'm actually at B67 with the MTA, so we did see Demetrius getting on the train. So just let me know when you're ready for me to do my reports, Brian. But if I might go in and out, so just be alert. I'm here.
All right, great. And you're Kate, you also have a question from Carrie.
Carrie.
Hey, Kate. I'm wondering about the cuts to Social Security Administration, or not the cuts, but the layoffs, and very worried that those are going to impact our families too, who are trying to get on SSI. Is there any news about those?
That's absolutely correct. That those are, I don't have any news to share, but I will take that back to Winnie, and then we will absolutely share updates if we have them. The concern is exactly what you said, that what we're already seeing is an inability to process claims and requests, and that is due to the reductions in force. Right, all of the layoffs, and even as many of those are working through litigation, and some of those employees are being ordered to return, or you know, the layoffs were not entirely kosher. The impact is still being felt regardless. The same thing with the offices, right? Requiring people to come in person, to schedule in-person appointments. We are already seeing the impact, but I'll take it back and try to get you some more information.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I know also if it's likewise, right? If you're if you happen to hear anything, obviously I know Brian and everyone always puts out that information, but so there are a lot more things here in terms of ACA market restrictions, including reduction of benefits, narrowed eligibility, new barriers to enrollment, increases, the impact to safety net hospitals. I don't want to just overwhelm folks. The point is that there is no one who will not be impacted. And that includes those of us who do not receive insurance through a marketplace. Our insurance rates, and I think, Brian, to your point about the FPI's presentation the other day, the impact to private employer-sponsored healthcare will also be significant. So there is not anyone who can say, you know, oh, and I don't think anyone is, but we cannot just be overwhelmed. We do have to continue to make space and find space for advocacy. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So thank you for everything that you're doing. And thanks to the Brooklyn Council, because the information has been so great. SCD, I'm taking a lot of time here. We were up in Albany on May 6th. We had a great lobby day, more than 25 legislative visits, really positive response. again, it's a tough year. We've been advocating for a growth factor for our schools of 2.9%. I already said this. We had a really successful lobby day is the bottom line. We need to be up there and meeting with our legislators more frequently. We need to get to know them. They need to know our schools in their districts. They need to know our families. They need to know their voters. And they need to know and be able to tell us without us educating them. And our job is to educate, but they don't really know what 4410 and 853 schools are. You know, maybe a third of them kind of did, but they still, the understanding of that our schools happen outside the budget process is still confusing. And usually it's a recommendation. The state education department issues by April 15th every year a proposal or a draft proposal for a recommendation that they then send to the Division of Budget, who then determines what our actual increases will be. And the rate methodology is called. So that is happening now. We're looking forward to that in June, but we continue to have conversations around that. The issue there also is just that they've asked us to speak with one voice. And so which we are doing with other organizations. We have drafted and we are sending to the Division of Budget just a clear show of force, but in an organized way for our asks, which the state education department has asked us to do. That's largely it. IAC is having its conference next week on the 28th and 29th. Lots of great speakers if you're interested.
Is there any confirmation on your potential big guest?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No, not that I have heard yet. Thank you. Good question. I think there will be a big announcement. If and when. Have you heard differently? We had a water issue, so I've been up talking to the super for most of the morning. There wasn't
I
anything.
just saw the email that came to the board members was that there was a potential for a very important guest and more news would come.
That potential remains.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so stop beating around the bush.
Okay.
The governor.
Oh.
The governor.
Oh,
I saw the
Which
governor just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't believe she's attended one of the IAC conferences in the past that I'm aware of. Usually the OPW commissioners there. I think that would be a big get. Now, if it means more people are going to sign up and come to the event, it's a great event anyway. That shouldn't be the only reason, so people should sign up. It's, what is it, 2 days, Kate?
It's 2 days. It's the 28th,
Yeah.
29th, and there is a rate for families and associates of IAC. So I can, that.
Yeah, if you could drop the link in the chat, it is a great event, a lot of good sessions and a lot of good information. Getting to network with people, not just see them in a box on a screen. That's a great part of it. There's some food. That's another good part.
I understand the food is pretty good. For education, we will have Dr. Rosa from the commissioner. We're going to have Christopher Soriano. We'll have the new deputy commissioner, Celan Myers-Ruff. There's been a reorganization in the state education department. So Access VR and all that has actually moved under one roof. So they're going to talk to us about that. And then also a little more in the weeds, but Suzanne Bowling and Nell Brady will have their own panel that will really speak to specifically to the issues with our schools. And then beyond that, there's just a ton of folks, really, deep conversation. Should be a lot of fun. And I hope we get that big ask done with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Let me put the link in the chat and I will send some more information. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. See
And
you
I
next
did,
month.
yeah, see you next month. And Kate is going to be joining us. So one of the things that's going to be a little different, I forgot to mention at this upcoming fair for us, we're going to have a room of Ask the Expert tables. So it's not going to be breakout sessions, but it's going to be where they're going to, each table is going to focus on a specific topic. So we know going through the system can be very confusing and people may have specific questions. They see 3 floors full of providers and they don't understand what they're supposed to be asking those providers or what these services mean. So the hope of the Ask the Experts tables are where they can help clarify some information you have, and then as families or professionals or whatever you are, you can go then to the tables and really have a better understanding of what each agency is talking about as you visit them. And Kate is going to be helping us with our education information as the expert table. All right, so I do see Lucy on. So thank you, Lucy. I know you guys were all double booked. So the floor is yours to give your update. Oh, you're on mute.
Okay.
There we
Good
go.
morning. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm sitting in for Nina this morning. Yeah. So the first update that we have is that, is about the choices migration update. I don't know, I guess by now a lot of people are aware that the target date for the migration is June 9th. And so starting Wednesday, June 4th, at 5 p.m. on Monday, starting Wednesday, June 4th, 2025 at 5 p.m. To Monday, June 9th, 2025, choices will be offline. And it's going to affect not only OPWDD staff, but CCOs and providers equally. So the CCOs have already been given this information at their May 6th leadership meeting, and the providers were informed as well at the May 7th DQI provider training. So prior to the migration, an email will be sent to the CCOs and the providers with instructions on how to set up for their new platform. So at this point, IT is working on a login guide with different screenshots, depending on what platform an agency is going to be using. In addition, they're also working on a choices what's different general navigation guide. So we have one right now. They're working on a new one that will be updated and sent to everyone. The CCOs and agencies will need to be prepared. I believe they've already been told that they will have to assist their users who are having difficulties logging into the Choices Cloud version. So with OPWDD is in conversation with them at this point, telling them what needs to happen. So they will have someone at the agency to be able to support the staff. So, and if the resources that's provided by OPWDD does not agree the problems that they're having, at that point, they can submit a ticket. And the ticket is supposed to be sent to fix it. Email supposed to be emailed to fix it at its.ny.gov. I can put that in the chat if people don't have it already, with a clear description of what the issue is. And in the email subject line, they need to write choices migration IT issue. And it's important that they put in the staff's email and the ticket as the user who encountered the issue and the time that the user tried to. So that's about choices.
Lucy, I could just add on to help the agencies. The email started going out to the agencies, but it's not, if you're an agency, please tell all your staff that have access to choices, it doesn't come directly from OPW. You're going to get an email from Microsoft, and it's going to say in the subject, NYS OPW invited you to access applications within the organization. It's going to give you a link to accept. It's going to take you through a number of steps, and then it's going to lead you nowhere. When you finish the steps, you choose the multi-factor, you choose all that, and it takes you to an application screen with no application. That means you did it right. I know that could be confusing because you're expecting to find something at the end of the rainbow, but it's just until it's live on June 6th or 9th, I forget the date, I'm sorry. You won't see the application show up until June 6th. But once you get to that step of the application screen, that means you did it correctly.
So just want to give people, I don't know if people have questions before I move on.
Yeah, there was someone that was just asking in the chat, can you just repeat the dates of when it's going to be offline?
Wednesday, June 4th at 5 p.m. And it's going to be offline through Monday, June 9th. The application is going to be implemented, or the migration is going to be effective by June 9th. So from Wednesday, June 4th at 5 p.m. until Monday, nothing will happen. Okay, my next update is about the New York State budget. So on May 9th, we know that the governor announced the passage of the fiscal year 2026 state budget. With the budget, the governor has made clear a commitment to families, including those including those of people with developmental disabilities. So with the largest middle class tax cut in more than 50 years and delivering $1 billion in tax relief for New Yorkers. So to fight back inflation, this year's budget includes New York State's first ever inflation refund that will send checks up to $500 up to $500 to families making up to $300,000 per year. The governor has also expanded the state's child tax credit to $1,000 annually per child for children under the age of 4 and up to $500 for children ages 4 to 16. So beyond these common sense cost-saving measures, New York State budget holds promising wins for our frontline workers while increasing health equity and modernizing research capabilities for people with developmental disabilities. So the governor's budget continues the 4-year trend of inflationary increases for New York frontline workers at 2.6%. In addition to this increase, the governor has extended nearly $850 million in updated reimbursement rates for nonprofit residential and day service providers to allow them to offer more competitive wages for frontline workers, to ensure better retention, fewer staffing vacancies, and a better quality of life for people with developmental disabilities. And we're already hearing about the positive impact that this is making for providers in their hiring and retention processes. So with the understanding that access to healthcare is not equal for all New Yorkers, OPWDD is happy to announce that this year's budget includes $25 million to create regional disability clinics across the state to improve access to healthcare and resulting healthcare outcomes for people with developmental disabilities. So the budget also includes $75 million to modernize the Institute for Basic Research in Developmental Disabilities, OPWDD's research arm. This investment, the largest in IBR's history, will establish a genomics core facility to better understand genetic defects underlying people's disabilities. This funding will also reimagine a center for learning on the former Willowbrook State School property, recognizing the importance this site had in sparking New York State disability rights movement and influencing the developmental disabilities delivery system across the nation. Governor Hochul knows that employment opens doors for everyone. So this year's budget continues to build on New York's Employment First initiative by more than doubling the maximum tax credit for businesses that hire people with disabilities from $2,100 to $5,000. And this significant increase will not only benefit people with developmental disabilities who want to work, but also the businesses that choose to offer them this opportunity. Federal concerns, the impact of the federal budget. So based on the figures in the House Budget Resolution, there will have to be cuts to Medicaid because it will be nearly impossible to meet the $880 billion reduction target without cutting Medicaid. And I saw that when I came in, this was already being discussed, that bill was passed yesterday. So the state financial plan is assuming that the federal government will provide nearly $7 billion to cover the cost of New York's Developmental Disabilities Service System this fiscal year. The House Energy and Commerce Committee bill, that's the one, was introduced May 13, and it includes numerous provisions that will have an impact on New York State Medicaid program and recipients, but no explicit impacts on people with disabilities. So OPWDD is watching the process closely, and they will continue to do so as the process unfolds. HHS Secretary Kennedy's Autism Registry comments. OPWDD understands the concerns of its constituents based on the comments U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS Secretary Robert Kennedy, has made about people with autism and about increasing an autism registry and about creating an autism registry. We know that autism is a spectrum, with each person presenting in their own way and with their individual and unique needs. OPWDD believes that every person, regardless of their level of ability, should be provided the opportunity to live with as much independence as possible. HHS has since provided more information regarding the Secretary's comments, stating that a separate registry is not being created, but instead the federal government will be gathering already existing non-identifying clinical information regarding diagnosis from each state. And this will be similar to the cancer database the National Institutes of Health administers. New York State does not maintain a registry of people with autism, and we don't believe there's a reason to be fearful about participating in essential government programs due to concerns about personal information being shared. OPWDD takes our responsibility for a person's health information very seriously and works to protect the privacy of those we serve. The Commissioner's Task Force on Aging. OPWDD continues to focus on providing a continuum of support throughout a person's lifespan, and we recognize that the need of an aging population with developmental disabilities can be complex. Supporting ways for people to age with dignity in their communities is critical, and we're committed to supporting this ongoing quality of life. In April, OPWDD announced the establishment of a Commissioner's Task Force on Aging to build upon New York State's recent work on the Master Plan for Aging. The Commissioner's Task Force on Aging would develop actionable recommendations to address the increasing needs associated with aging for people with developmental disabilities in New York State. The task force will be a time-limited subcommittee of the Developmental Disability Advisory Council, DDAC, and will be co-led by a member of the DDAC and the Commissioner's Office. Membership will include subject matter experts in health, aging, housing, and developmental disabilities, and they will include self-advocates, family members, developmental disabilities providers, and a care coordination organization as selected by the task force chair. And questions may be sent to ddac@opwdd.ny.gov. I'm going to put that in the chat. And then, the Get Door and Get Together Day, Saturday, June 14th. Our annual OPWDD and other state agency partnership event, Get Out and Get Together Day, is happening on Saturday, June 14th. And fun, accessible outdoor events will be held at select parks and DEC sites across the state. And most of the events will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'll put the websites in the chat as well, that you can visit to get more up-to-date information. And finally, our stakeholder 507 forum in person is slated for Wednesday, July 9th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And this year it will be held in Brooklyn at the 286 Cadman Plaza West, Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Heights Library. So I'm sure more information will be coming on this. And this year as well, the CCOs will have a table at the event. This is the first time that that's going to happen. But this is all the updates that I have. Does anybody have questions?
Thank you, Lucy. I don't see any hands or questions in the chat. Does anyone have any questions for Lucy? Oh, Chris has a question.
Hi, guys, this is
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
I'm actually on the train with the MTA. Hi. I'm on the train with the MTA right now. So right now my camera's off because they're making a lot of train honking right now. Lucy, I heard that the annual meeting for July is going to be there. I'm glad to see the CCO. But is there possible that a table can also be for the advisory/DD council, so families know there are councils in the borough of Brooklyn and maybe other boroughs as well? Because that's another way of outreaching them as well. I'm glad to know CCOs are going to be there, but how about the councils with an S? And I'm saying that for the record.
I know that the forum is always open to parents and to providers. I'm not sure about the council specifically, but I believe that it's open and everyone can be in attendance.
I was asking for, I'm saying if you're going to have CCOs have tables, can the council also have a table as well?
I mean, I can certainly take that back, but I don't see any reason why. But yeah, but I can, take that. I can take that information or that comment back and confirm it. But I don't think it should be a problem. But that's just my opinion. Yeah.
Thank you, Lucy. And also just to add one thing, what you mentioned earlier about the budget. Lucy, you should be aware that I did see the governor, almost 2 hours ago. I was with her today, and I'm in the Rockaways, so I'm not that far from you guys from the TV, but I'm actually in the Rockaways. She did mention the budget a little bit, and she did not mention about the Medicaid cuts, but I do hear that she did mention the DD development, the DD development disability, the mental health, that a lot of people need they need more outreach and information. But she definitely heard what the councils in New York City, because she's been hearing us that we're more active in the lower part of the city, like the 5 boroughs. So good to know the governor knows who we are. But I just think that if we're going to worry about cuts and stuff, we do need to remind our state and federal officials too, to get their attention. Some of them are listening, but I just think we just need to remind the staffs who represents them. If they're listening too, I'm saying hello to.
All right, thank you, Chris. You do have a few more questions, Lucy. Rochelle, you had your hand up?
I did, and I have a few questions. Thank you, Lucy, for the report. I always have questions. One thing I would like to encourage, and it's for OPW and also for all the providers on the call, is if we can get together to do more outreach to program participants and other people using OPW services about these federal cuts. I know that we have to be careful. Everybody's got 501c3 or other regulatory constraints. We're not talking about lobbying, but information is critical because too many family members don't think that we're going to be immune from these cuts.
Why aren't you in Italy?
And we're not. And I think it's important to get the information out for people to understand why this will still affect them, even if the particular funding for IDD services is not cut at this point. So I would hope that, I think family groups are working very hard on this and trying to get the word out. But I think if providers could also work with program participants along with OPWDD, I think that would be helpful. Another point is, I know you've spoken about anecdotal reports about the rebasing money having improved recruitment. There are many family stakeholders who are asking for more precise information about how recruitment is going, are vacancy rates going down, is DSP compensation going up? You know, anecdotal reports. I've heard the same anecdote like 12 times already, and that's, you know, not adequate for us to gain an understanding of what the status is. And that's, from the family perspective, critical, because if we don't have staff, we don't have programs, and we don't have quality of life for our family members. So that's a particular request that folks are making. I very much appreciate OPW's perspective about the autism registry, and also letting people know that, at least in New York State, people should not be afraid to access services. I do believe OPW will protect people's privacy. But I know that Assemblymember Santa Barbara, who's the chair of the Disabilities Committee in the Assembly, is advancing a bill that will codify that as state law. And I was hoping that OPW would get behind that. I think even though OPW currently does that, I don't know that it's codified in state law, and I think it would be a good thing if it was. And frankly, not just for people with autism, but people with any developmental disability. So that's another concern. And the last thing is another question. I know I bothered Nina about this last month when she gave her report. The CCO report from the consultants has now been out for over about 5-6 weeks now. And I haven't heard anything from OPW about OPW's interpretation of the results, what they think about the 64 recommendations in the 855-page report. And I think, you know, stakeholders are really anxious about this, because there's a lot of concerns about the future of CCOs and how to best improve their effectiveness. So it's another appeal. You know, I know it was a lot to digest for OPWDD, but you can imagine that individuals and families have less resources to digest an 855-page report, even though there's a plain language summary. You know, the devil is in the details and in the details of the recommendations. So again, an appeal for OPW to please start the process of engaging with stakeholders about the recommendations of this report, which ones they are prioritizing, which ones are actionable, and how they see, you know, a plan for improvement for the performance of CCOs and support for the CCOs. So that's my little bunch of questions.
Thank you. I think I got everything, and I'm certainly going to take it back. But I know that when I joined the meeting, Kate was talking about how, you know, providers, in terms of, you know, what you were talking about, Medicaid, and how to continue the advocacy and have providers and maybe family members come together. I know that she was talking, you know, she was encouraging us to continue to just, you know, continue to be advocates. I mean, I'll take it back to see how we can engage more families on our end, because I do agree that, to your point, this is going to affect everybody. It's going to affect all of us.
Just to clarify on that, I know that the providers have been sending out a lot of information through email and on social media, but there's absolutely no substitute for engaging families at the level at the program level. Many of our family members do not really engage on social media, don't look at the news, don't really digest things that way. But if the provider calls a meeting, they might come and actually find out more and be moved to do something. So that was more what I was speaking about.
All right, okay. And I'll take back questions and information that you're asking about how, to provide specific information about how the recruitment is going based on the extra funding that's been provided, so I'll take that back, as well as the other things that you mentioned in terms of the CCO reports, how OPWDD, what our interpretation of those recommendations are, and how we're prioritizing, addressing them. Yeah. And as well as how we can also engage with the lawmaker that you said that's advancing the autism bill to codify the autism bill. Yeah. All right.
All right. You also had a hand up from Ellen.
Good morning. I hope everybody's enjoying this.
Good morning.
At one point during your presentation, you made a statement, I'm not sure it was early on, that something would not affect funding. And I was wondering if you could go back and take a look at that and explain it.
So I believe that the statement that I made was on the impact that at this point is not clear. Let me just go back to it. That we're not sure how yes. Okay. In terms of the cost to Medicaid and how it's going to affect people, how it's going to have an explicit impact on people with developmental disabilities. That's what I was saying.
I'm concerned to me.
Good morning. I'm sorry, Lucy, I joined the meeting and
Okay,
I
good.
can add to that. Thank you for your very good presentation today. So with the budget, with the federal budget, there are a lot of concern about that.
Before you continue, could you tell me who you are?
I'm Nina Grutze, one of the deputies at Region 4.
Thank you.
Okay, so there are a lot of concerns about that 880 billion energy bill, right? And about the possible Medicaid cuts, but we do not have any information, and there are no information yet that would impact New York State budget, right? At this point, so that 880 billion federal energy bill, right, has a lot of administrative mandates in the state, such as Medicaid recertification would be required every 6 months. Participants would have to provide proof of citizenship, immigration status. They would be verification of addresses, and the most important thing is overlapping services in multiple states. So it appears to be that we have there are people who are receiving different waiver services or different Medicaids in various states.
First, you're breaking up a little.
So at this point, we do not to New York City, even though the budget has passed. Hold on. And even though the budget has passed, the New York State budget passed, we have still some fiscal discussions with New York State DOB budget office, but overall, there were no major changes to the proposed budget, and most of the initiatives are in this year budget. We've got a COLA increase and $850 million commitment from the governor's office, as Lucy mentioned, to the workforce for the providers to allow money, to give additional money to pay to the workers. Okay, that's one thing that I wanted.
I am confused. If there's already a knowledge of a cut, how could it not have an impact And if the governor's budget has already been passed without the consideration of the cuts coming from the federal government,
Those cuts are not approved yet.
Are-
Potential. The bill hasn't passed yet, as far as I know,
but nobody's planning
right?
on
And
the potential.
but
No one's
I
planned out
apologize.
potential, set up like 2 or 3 different budgets with impacts, no?
New York State has the reserve, and we do not anticipate any funding cuts to the budget as of now. And I want to move quickly. I don't want to hold a conversation with the comments about the CCO evaluation. We know the report came back. OPWDD is currently analyzing the data. We will be working on quality improvement strategy and plan for the CCOs. We will do the analysis and classification prioritization of recommendations. And OPWDD will be working with the CCOs on defining desired focus areas for the CCOs, and we'll be collaborating with the CCOs and goals and benchmarks on how to improve the quality of services. There were a lot of also good comments, right? That the report have that we a lot of good comments that we have received from that evaluation as well. So more information to come.
Just another question on that, Nina, which is on the CCO report. Are there plans to have meetings with providers and families and individuals about the recommendations in the report? Because, you know, it's a hard job to prioritize a few goals out of 64 recommendations. This is not an easy task. And it's very possible that, you know, each sector of stakeholders will have a different perspective on what is the most important among them that should be prioritized. So I would hope that OPW would be holding some sessions with families and with providers to discuss these recommendations and their plans as well, not just with the CCOs.
All right, I don't see any other hands. So thank you, Nina. Thank you, Lucy. I know you guys had a conflict, so we appreciate you getting on to give the updates. All right, so I know we do have GymGuyz here, and Petro from GymGuyz is going to do a presentation on GymGuyz and how they support the IDD community. And again, they will also be present at our family support fair next month.
Thank you so much, Brian. Let me share my screen here. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good morning and a happy Monday. My name is Petro Nikitin and I am from GymGuyz Brooklyn, #1 in-home personal training. We provide customized, convenient, and creative workout at the settings of client's choice. Currently, our youngest client is 5 years old and oldest client is 87 years old. We are located in Brooklyn and cover entire Brooklyn area. Tell you a little bit about the history of GymGuyz. It was founded in 2008 by a gentleman named Josh York. He noticed that people have legitimate excuses for not going to the gym. Either it's personal lives, work. Some people are not comfortable going to gyms. Some people cannot go to the gyms. So that's inspired him to create a solution. He started with one WAN laptop and from his parents' living room. And the business quickly expanded. And about 10 years ago, started to franchise. Currently, GymGuyz are in 3 countries besides United States. It is UK and Canada. We are in 29 states with over 100 locations. There are over 250 GymGuyz vans on the road and over 400 trainers working currently. And over 100,000 lives have been changed or improved. Please meet the team. That's myself and my beautiful wife, Anna, who's also present on the call with us. Our master trainer, Dino, Tassina, Epic, Sebastian, and Hakeem, Joe, Shireen, and Harrison. And that's not everybody. We are hiring, we are growing. Why choose GymGuyz? Unlike traditional gym, we listen to you, we motivate you, we hold you accountable. And again, but that's convenient. We show up at your doorstep, we bring our own equipment. Our trainers, they hold nationally accredited certifications, including adaptive. And we do a thorough background check and drug screening on our trainers. So we would not be comfortable sending somebody to your home who we wouldn't want to welcome in our home. So the first assessment, we go over, let's go PORQ. We would go over clients' medical history, orthopedic history, family history. We would conduct a body assessment, a variety of measurements. We would ensure that a client is fit to exercise and understands risks and benefits of exercising. If we are not sure that this client is fit, we would ask to get a medical clearance. All right, and now we're going to talk a little bit of adaptive training. So we actually, majority of our clients are, or bigger half, are adaptive clients. And these are some of the goals and objectives. Apologies. If you look at the picture, actually, this is our trainer Harrison, and this was taken just last Friday with a young man here who is on autism spectrum. So we aim to improve attention span, focus, coordination, socializing abilities, strength, body awareness, brain function, and listening skills. Here are some other targets of ours, how to improve our clients' well-being. We work on core balance and flexibility. We engage the brain, strengthen the muscles, and it's a very thorough workout from head to toes based on clients' goals and abilities. GymGuyz is approved OPWDD vendor. We work with self-direction brokers, independent brokers, and also these are our fiscal intermediary partners. You might recognize some of the names. This is so we bill them at the end of the month, and we get paid probably a month or 2 or 3 later. But the families, it's not coming out of families' pocket, and we work directly with fiscal intermediaries. This actually happened just yesterday. We had a fabulous Fifth Avenue Festival in Brooklyn. We were present. There were a lot of people, and so this is some of the equipment that we have. And at some point, there were like 20 kids playing around and then on top of each other. So that was a lot of fun. We're very excited. We're very excited to be there. And once again, my name is Petro Nikitin from GymGuyz Brooklyn. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, everyone.
Thank you, Petro. Does anyone have any questions for Petro or anything about GymGuyz? I do see Chris has his hand up.
This is Chris. You can see.
Chris, you're
Oh,
cutting
you
out.
can
We
hear
can't really
me?
hear you. You keep cutting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a little signal issue, but I just want to be clear that he also attended the resource fair as well, just to let everyone know. As part of the advisory council, Developmental Resource Fair. He did attend a couple of resource fairs between CCHEP and Green, and he has attended a lot of them. So I just want to be clear that he also has been attending those. And Brian.
Chris, we're having a lot of trouble hearing you.
Yes, Chris. I will reach out to you with via email, Chris, and Deborah. Great seeing you on this call, and I'll probably see you in person sometime soon. So thank you.
Okay. There is another hand. Sandy, you have a question for Petro?
Hi. Where is the location in Brooklyn?
Okay, so that's an excellent question. We do not have a physical location. We do not have a physical location. Our corporate office is located in Long Island in Melville. But in Brooklyn, we do not have a physical location. We come to your home, we come to the school, to the daycare center, office. That's in-home personal training, not a gym.
What kind of workouts do you do at daycare centers?
Well, it really depends on clients' goals and abilities. Based on our first assessment, we provide that to our certified personal trainer, and he or she will determine a personalized workout plan based on the client's goals and abilities. So it would be very much personalized and tailored to that individual.
So I assume when you say daycare centers, you're talking about for the staff? Because you're not working with little.
Well, what I meant, adult daycare or one of these like schools that where parents drop off their kids.
Gotcha. Okay. And someone has a question in the chat. Well, someone asked if you can share your information. So you can put it in the chat, but also if you want to send me like official flyers, I'll send it out to the mailing list after the meeting. And then someone asked if you could just clarify, so you accept self-direction. Someone with self-direction can get your services.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
All right, I don't see any other questions. So I appreciate you being here and connecting with us. And I know you're going to be at our fair on June 18th. So if people do have other questions or want to meet them in person, they will be at our fair at Brooklyn College.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Petro. All right, now I'm going to pass it off to committee updates. So any of our co-chairs on from the council that want to plug their meetings.
Hi, Brian.
Yes.
Sorry, this is I can't even find the hand thing. Can I just give you a quick update? Because I have a meeting in about a training in about 10 minutes, and I apologize for butting in. We have updated the family support guide to the best of our ability with as much changes as we've received from the family and the agencies. It should be ready by the end of the week. We will forward it to you, and we'll forward it to Ms. Greif so that they can have it on the website. I'm not sure how many we will be printing to have at the fair, but I'm not sure how to do a link to put it up on the website. I'm not sure if maybe that's something you can do. So that, you
Angela,
know,
this is, Angela,
so
this is
that,
Chris. I will put it in.
just a second, so that you guys can have the families go to a link to download it. I don't know how to do all that. I'm not that jazzy.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So if you send it to me, we get it on our website, we'll email it
Yeah.
out. But for the fair, if it helps, we can do like a QR code that we can put at your table. So
Okay.
families can scan it and it'll take us to our website where it's linked.
Okay. I know Chris is good at this stuff, so that's why I
Yep.
said I'd send it to both of you.
Yeah, between me and Chris, we'll have it on both sites and we'll make sure we have a link so people can scan the
Okay.
code and get to it.
Perfect. I know they'll print a few copies, but it will only be for the families. It will not be for the agencies. They can
Yeah.
download it with your QR code and stuff. So I'll try and get it to you by Thursday, Friday. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Brian. And again, we've updated it the best way we could. There may be, you know, a few errors. Some people didn't respond. So, you know, we do the best we can. I think that's about it for now. I just wanted to make sure that you agencies submit your DDPs. I'm going to be taking some vacation time soon, so I need you to do your reimbursements and send them in as soon as possible, because I'm going to take some vacation time and I want to make sure everybody gets paid. I know the last week of June is going to be crazy with the camps and all that stuff, so we want to try and be ahead of the curve. I think that was about it, and I thank you, and I apologize again for butting in, but I have to go to a training in a few minutes.
I appreciate you butting in. That's good information that I know families always look forward to the guide. And the
Okay.
fact that it'll be ready before the fair will be really good because a lot of families
Yeah,
ask for it.
it
So
is.
thank you for that.
You're welcome. Chris, what were you going to ask me?
As Brian already said it, I was just saying the same thing as Brian, that both councils will definitely put up, and once you get the guidebook, I can put in, like as Brian said,
Okay.
our code, the code, the same thing. It doesn't take that long to do.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Is Deborah on? Is there any? We made all the
I'm
changes.
here. I said thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, I didn't hear. I'm sorry. We
Thank
made
you.
all the
I
changes, so hopefully
appreciate it. It's okay.
it'll be
Thank you.
right now. It is what it is. It's done, and we're not going to make any more changes until next year.
Okay.
All right.
Well, and I think
appreciate
the
that you're
important
fine.
thing,
I understand.
it's a lot of
Appreciate
work you guys put in. And we appreciate that, Angela, but I think what agencies need to understand, if it's incorrect, it's because agencies didn't provide updates and you sent out a number of
Yes.
requests for updates.
Yes.
And I
we
think
did.
sometimes they get lost in the shuffle. But if
Yeah.
agencies, please, Angela works very hard on this with her team. If you do find mistakes, you have to let her know during the time when she emails out for updates.
Yeah,
If you don't send her updates to be made, they can't be made.
correct. And Carol Harrigan was sending them out also. So between the two of us, we've been trying to get this together. So again, you know, if there's anything missing, you will need to let us know. So next year it will be updated the way you want it to be.
Yeah,
And again, we appreciate all your help. Thank you, guys.
no problem.
Brian,
All right,
Oh,
Chris.
yeah, and Debbie has a question too.
Thank you, Angela.
you're welcome. You're very
And
welcome.
Angela, this is Chris live in the Rockaways. Just letting you know that I saw the sample, it looks great, but I definitely agree with you because, you know, we said this every year to agencies, Brian, I think Debbie agreed, that I agree with Brian what he's saying, and I will say this, if you don't put it in and you see an error, it's not our fault. You guys got to make sure outreach information has to go out. It's just like if you guys send me stuff and you send to Brian and you say, oh, you sent it out wrong, we're just copying and pasting stuff on our website with an S.
Right.
So I just want to be clear on that as well.
And I agree with you there. And I want to thank Carrie, because Carrie helps me out with this every single year, and I truly appreciate her.
Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you. And if I don't get to talk to you next month, have a happy holiday, Memorial Weekend.
Enjoy your time off.
Oh, thank you. All right.
All right. Chris, do you want to give your MTA update and then we'll get updates from our chairs from the committee?
Yes, and just to let everyone know, good morning, everyone. If in case you saw earlier, Demetrius Catchfraud, Jana Lieberman, Yes, I was with them this morning. I'm actually in the Rockaways. I was with the governor this morning. That's why I am not home. I'm in the Rockaways. As you know, this morning, as effective 5 a.m. this morning, the A trains have returned to Far Rockaway, and the Rock Park shuttle has returned to the Rock Park to Beach Channel. So that's a lot of good news. As you know, and I'm going to say the truth, so help me God, MTA Capital 2025-2029 passed. So we are definitely getting the proper funding, thanks to all the DD councils and the advisory councils in the 5 boroughs. This is a message for General Lieberman, saying thank you, councils. Thank you, Frosty. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you, Ann Menino. Thank you, Sandy Naper, Sharon Shields. If I say everyone's name, I'm going to get shot here.
Yeah, please don't.
Everyone. Yeah. A lot of good things have coming in the MTA Capital. We have gotten official, and congestion pricing is going very well with the funding. And right now, there'll be more details coming up in May, but the MTA board/committee meeting will be on May 28th. But in the meantime, for people in the Queens, which is DDRO, should be aware that starting June 29th and August, there will be the Queens redesign changing of the bus route. On the good note, the Q8 bus will remain where it is, going to the DDRO/Gateway Mall. But please check the routes that between Brooklyn and Queens. So some of the routes are staying, some routes are being adjusted. For example, the 235, which is actually just past me, is still running, but it will not stop at certain point stops. There will be still a 235 local, but once it's in Brooklyn, it's called a rush bus, like the same way it's a limited. So be aware of that. The other thing, just to be aware, everyone, starting this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, there will be a major service change because of track replacement and switch replacement at Coney Island Stowell Avenue. So if you normally take the N to Coney Island or the D, do not take the Q or the F to Coney Island. As a reminder, the last stop with N trains will be 86th Street, Gray's End, and the D will end at Bay 50th. Please note that both stations are not ADA accessible. So if you're coming on those trains and you're coming from Manhattan, transfer at 34th Street, Carroll Square, for the Q or the F. Do not transfer to Atlantic Barclay because the elevators from between the Q and the B and the N and D, that elevator is out of service for elevator replacement. And this as well as DeKalb Avenue. So please use wisely where you're traveling. The B train, also note, will be ending at Kings Highway starting Wednesday, and then we'll turn back to Brighton Beach the following Tuesday. This is because of switch replacement. If we don't get the switch fixed in Coney Island, there will be no trains running to Coney Island. So please be aware that the Q will still go to Coney Island, the F will still go to Coney Island, but no D, no N service for that few days. So there will be shuttle buses, but I am going to remind everyone, please check. If you have any questions, please email me and I will give you the accessible reroute. Now, they do tell you to take the B82 bus. I will say, good luck getting on that bus. I will also remind you, if you're going to Coney Island by bus, use the 68, the 36, or the B64 bus. But I am going to remind you, please give yourself additional time because you know how people drive on the Mulberry Street. Very dangerous and not safe. To all agencies, to remind you, and I know I sent this out, Brian, I know you're going to forward this out. There's new brochures came out for Omni, how to sign up for the account and how to make sure to keep your budget safe. Those are two new brochures that came out this past week, and the Neverlands program has also came out with a brochure. I will put that in on email. But as I said again, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I will respond to you on this. Does anyone have any questions for me at this time?
I don't see any questions, Chris. Thank you for your update.
Yes, and Brian, just to let you know, any concern about the Omni stuff, people should be looking at the video and study the video because that's the one thing we're reminding everyone on that.
Sounds good. Thank you, Chris. All right. Lucina, I see you. I'm calling on you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great Monday morning. I am meetings galore, but I am just grateful. Thank you all. I am the co-chair with Maria Willis of the Legislative Committee. We have our meeting the second Wednesday of every month in collaboration with, we work with the Brooklyn Advisory Council meeting as well. So we are so excited. Please join us, not only you as the provider, reach out to the parents. You know, as Kate was saying, I'm so excited that Kate and Amanda is there working with her, talking about advocating, talking about advocacy for our families. Again, if we don't know who our representatives are, how can they support us? If you haven't tell them who your child is, it doesn't matter what disability. You know, Chris always say every disability is different, even though we know it's a ability or differences. Every child is different. So when you speak to your council members, walk with a picture of your child. This is my child. Whether the child is autistic, whether the child is disabled, whatever it is, because when you put a face to that number, because most time people know us as our social security numbers. When you put a face to that number, it is so important and so vital. So Maria and I, we meet every second Wednesday at 11. Please join us on Ring Central. We want your input, but also to send it out to your, the providers, to the parents. You may have certain parents group that has a click. Not every parent will be involved, but the ones who are, send it out to them so they can make a difference too. So we've been working, we're gonna be working to do some workshops. I'm so excited for us to be at the June 18th, June 18th fair with a table, Maria and I, with advocacy tips. I'm gonna contact Kate and Amanda to give us some, we'll have like a cheat sheet, as you call the cheat sheet. So when you call someone, when you call your representative, what you can say, we talking love. We need for them to know who you are. Look at the budget now. We can't wait. We always be reactive. We need to be proactive. We need to be in front of our leaders all the time, not only in April for budget, because they'll think we're coming for money. Yes, we are, but we don't want them to know that. We want them to know that your child is important. We want them to know that the services we are providing is effective and it's a must. So thank you again. Thank you, Brian, for your leadership. I am so excited, and I'm very excited today. This weekend, my niece graduated her doctorate in physical therapy. So I'm excited. Another person is out there to provide services to our amazing people. So thank you all again. Maria, if you're in to say anything,
no,
please.
I think you said it all, Lucina. Thank you so much.
See, good teamwork, the dream work. So we love it. Thank you again all for always participating. And when the more we advocate, the more we speak up, the more we can have better services. So thank you all again. Have an amazing Monday. Talk to you an amazing week too. Bye.
Thank you, Lucina. So anyone that's interested, their committee is held the second Wednesday of every month via Ring Central, right after the Family Provider and Care Manager Information Committee that Debbie co-chairs and Rose Sauls. Any other co-chairs on that want to plug a meeting or give an update? Otherwise, Debbie. Okay.
I will. We were very lucky to meet with, we met on May 14th. I want to thank Carrie Banks from the Brooklyn Public Library Inclusive Services for giving a fantastic presentation, who explained the help and services that the Brooklyn Public Library has, not just for inclusive services for children, seniors, and she explained the things you can borrow a laptop, to name a few. And I didn't even know of all these things. We thanked her profusely because of the advisory council we kept meeting using different branches. But I just want everyone to know that my co-chair Rose Saul and I are not going to be meeting next month because she and I are going to wait till September. But we would like people, if you have topics that you have our meeting, we usually, as I say, we meet the second Wednesday of the month, 10 a.m. on Ring Central. Yes, we met last month, but tomorrow is the advisory council. We were talking about the RFP proposals that are come in, that who will be the reader and who is the alternate. I'm the reader with my recording secretary, Miss Sandy Naper, is my backup. I also want to thank my full advisory council from Lori Roosevelt, Amanino, Sharon Shields, Sandy Naper, Christopher Greif, for all your help and existence. But the advisory council, the reason I'm also tonight is that the statewide meeting is going to be on the second Wednesday. So if anybody wants to say something, they can let us know, and they will let you know that they usually hold public speaking at 2:30. So if you need any other information, please let us know. The advisory council also is not doing any we're not doing any resource fair for the month of June because it's the Brooklyn Family Support Fair and they get the priority. We will have a meeting in July. We will be participating and having a fair at Grand Army Plaza Library websites, the Brooklyn and the GDK Council. And we can thank Carrie, both members 8835 July. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Brian, this is Chris, because she goes in and out. Just want to be very clear.
Hear me clearly, Brian?
No,
It
you're
was
breaking up.
freezing for parts of it, but for the most of it, we heard you okay.
Brian, can I just add one thing she's mentioning? So, because some agencies do email me a lot and need to be heard this clearly.
Okay,
I'll say it. Developmental Disability Resource Rate will not meet in June. Please be advised that the next one is in July. As Deborah mentioned, it is also Disability Pride Month 10th year anniversary with the ADA 35. At this time, I will say there is some space, but I cannot promise every agency. So I want to be very clear with that. If you're interested, I need to know no later by, the deadline was this past Friday. So I have to check if any other agency is attending, because remember, spaces, that library is maybe big, but we already got agencies responding. So I want to be very clear on that. You can still come and share your information. Some agencies did that, and they did share information and gave out their information. But the libraries like to see the information. It shares to let families know where the information is going to each library. So please, guys, and we will have special guest stars showing up. That you have to find out on July 8th coming. So I want to be very clear on that. And tomorrow is the advisory council meeting. Please make sure everyone, please try to attend as we are discussing unfinished business. That is the topic on the thing. And I did put that into the chat. Thank you.
And the link for it is also on the council website to attend tomorrow. Thank you, Chris.
Any
updates, any co-chairs available from the Meaningful Day Committee for an update on that committee?
Hi, Brian, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can. Hi.
Hi, sorry, I'm on the Amtrak. I believe our last meeting, we've been staggering them to make sure that we get everybody. We've been having them in the evenings, in the afternoons. They've been well attended. We've been discussing about transition, and a lot of the conversation has been about transitioning and new graduates and kind of linking up with that. In the employment front, we talked about the APSI conference and the APSI training and the Employment First movement, and also a lot of discussion about families coming to join, being a part of the Brooklyn Family Support Fair. And I think our next to last meeting is going to happen by the end of the school year, and then we'll pick up again in September.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Jahida. All right, so keep a lookout for my emails with their next meeting. Usually they send me these fancy flyers that I forward to you guys, and I put it on our website so you guys can attend. I think that's all I've seen on from the council today. So now we'll open it up for agency and program announcements. And Carrie beat me to it. She had her hand up before I could even finish. Go ahead, Carrie.
I always figure you've got to be first, second, or last, otherwise people just forget. So Carrie Banks from the Brooklyn Public Library. First of all, thank you for all the nice things people are saying about the library. And
You're
secondly,
welcome.
we've got some really cool stuff coming up, including some openings in our drumming lessons. We offer free drumming lessons for autistic teens. I put that in the chat. We have openings for 2 or 3 teens on a weekday afternoon at the Bedford Library. Secondly, we do have some openings in our read and play program, and those are for children birth to age 5. We register children with disabilities and children without disabilities. Right now, we still have some places open for children with disabilities. That's at the Greenpoint Library. And finally, I mean, we've got lots and lots going on, but finally, I wanted people to know about the one-to-one support for people dealing with disability systems for their children. At the library next month, it will be on June 11th instead of June 4th, because we have a parent member training that day, which you are also welcome to come. It's all scattered throughout the chat, but I'm going to put my information in there so you can always reach out to me for more if I went too fast, or you want more information, or you want to register. So that's all I got today. Thank you all very much, and enjoy this weather because it is gorgeous out there.
Thank you, Carrie. Next
Brian,
up is Doris.
Brian, I had a question for Carrie.
Oh, okay. 1 second, Doris. I'm sorry. Chris, ask your question for Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie, a parent asked me this question, I think it was on Friday, and I did email you. They were asking, is your newsletter still working? Because a lot of the families have been asking me this question.
It should be. It goes out once a month, usually in the last week of the month. So you can expect one next week or the week after that for June. And if people aren't getting it, then they should get in touch with me directly. And again, I will put my contact information in chat. I apologize for that. It's truthfully, we no longer directly do the newsletter ourselves at Inclusive Services. It goes through the libraries, one of the library's vendors. But they're usually pretty good about it. So if you want to get on it, just shoot me an email and let me know. The easiest to do it on email because, as I think, well, many of you know, and the rest of you will soon know, I have learning disabilities, dyslexia, and dysgraphia. And if you call me up and tell me you want to be added to the mailing list, chances are I'm going to write it down wrong. So email's the best way to go with that. Thank you. Does that answer your question, Chris?
You got the thumbs up.
Okay, thanks so much for the feedback.
Thank you. All right, Doris.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Doris Kahn, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator for New York State Institute on Disability. We're a family support agency. We provide free in-home evaluations for the purpose of obtaining OPWDD eligibility for individuals who do not have Medicaid and that live in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, and Staten Island. For information, you can contact Elizabeth Sunshine at 917-699-0578, or you can email Liz at esunshine@nicetinc.org. NYSIT also provides behavior management services, and this is under the direction of Juliet Hawkins for individuals who live in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. You can call Juliet at 917-524-4856 or email her jhawkins@nicetinc.org. Summer is here, and NYSIT, we provide camp reimbursement. For information, you can contact Jackie Tribodi at 929-202-1115 or email her at jtribodi@nicetinc.org. The weather is great, and we have tickets for recreational outings for individuals who reside in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. We do not provide these tickets for individuals that have self-direction services or reside in Manhattan. For information, you can contact Sarah Alton at 718-494-6457 or email Sarah at salton@nicetinc.org. NYSIT also provides free transportation services in Brooklyn, Bronx, and Staten Island for medical appointments or recreational activities for individuals and their members of their family. In Queens, we provide transportation to an individual who's attending a venue that we can provide tickets for. We do not provide transportation for individuals that have self-direction services or reside in Manhattan. Please contact John O'Grady at 917-747-9424, or you can email John at jogrady@nicetinc.org. Brian, I put both flyers for camp reimbursement and flyer for our services in the chat. Wishing everybody a happy Memorial Day. Thank you, and see everybody at the fair next month. Thank you.
Yes, I was just going to say, as a reminder, I know some people are asking for information. Everything gets posted within 48 hours on our website, the chat and the meeting recording. And I also wanted to say almost all the agencies that have reported or updated today will also be at our fair live and in person next month, June 18th at Brooklyn College. So if you have not signed up yet, please go to our website, sign up. And if you're an agency looking to table, there are some spots left. We currently have 63 agencies signed up. And agency registration is going to close in a week and a half. Thank you. All right, Sandy.
Hi, it's Sandy. There's a couple of Sandys on here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sandy Napier.
Good morning, everybody. I am Sandy Napier with ADAPT Community Network, and we're having some exciting webinars coming up soon. The first one is on May 22nd. It's attention problems and hyperactivity in preschoolers. The next one is on May 29th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Toilet training made easy. And the last one coming up is auditory processing disorders, setting up your child for success. And that's from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on June 4th. We always provide Mandarin and Spanish interpretation. They're always free, and we hope you come and see us. And everything is in the chat. And Brian, I have to thank you for getting out all my flyers.
No problem. Thank you. All right, Matthew from YI.
Hi everyone, my name is Matthew from YI, and yes, I listed a lot of the services and flyers in the chat, but we do have the Independent Living Skills group, and we also have the Ballet Yoga and Social Skills group for the children with autism spectrum in Brooklyn. We also have family reimbursement, we have in-home behavior management, and a parent with special needs, which is a family support program that serves the parents with OPWDD eligibility. I did include the summary flyer in the chat. So if you access that flyer, it does list all of the programs and the contact emails and numbers. And I definitely will be there at the fair.
Thank you, Matthew. All right, Jay Kleinman.
Good morning, Jay Kleinman from LifeSpire. We have, through our Brooklyn Crisis Intervention Program, referral and linkage, short-term counseling, short-term case management, those types of services. So if you want to refer someone, I will put my phone number and email in the chat. Thanks.
Thanks, Jay. And last but certainly not least, Pat from GHO.
Good morning, Pat Liu, Family Support Coordinator from GHO. I am going to announce that GHO, we have a site base. They have located in Sunset Park, and they have withdrawal and all the employment programs available. So immediate opening, so please reach out to me. And we also have family support service for case management services for individuals who are new to the system and seeking for the OPWDD eligibility. And we can assist them with all the to the linkage to the other service providers and the community resource. And eventually you find them a CCO. And finally, we also have a capacity to assist family who speak in Korean or Chinese for the CDNY enrollment and intake. So for all these services, you can contact me, Pat Liu from GHO, and I post my contact on the chat already. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
Couple more hands just popped up. Maria.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Maria Willis from CP Unlimited, and I'm announcing that on May 28th, we're having an open house for DayHab and Article 16 from 10:30 to 1:30 p.m. at 921 East New York Avenue and 842 Lefferts Avenue, both in Brooklyn. Join us to learn about CP Unlimited's comprehensive Article 16 therapies, classes, programs, and support for people 18 years and older with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I did put the flyer in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Sandy from EHAB.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So yeah, like everybody else, we have a couple openings in our site base, and with that was day habilitation. We also have recreational Saturdays that we offer, community habilitation, in-home respite, and after-school respite as well. So I did put my information in the chat, so if anybody wants to reach out.
Thank you, Sandy. Erica?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was on mute. Good morning, everyone. This is Erica Thorpe from Heaven's Hands. I'm just touching base to let everyone know that we currently have openings in our day hab programs, both at Sunset and at our East 98th Street location, which is located in Brownsville, as well as our community hab and our respite, which includes after school. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Erica. Maria, is your hand up again, or is it from before? All right.
Sorry, that was from before.
No worries. So I believe that's it. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, GymGuyz, for your presentation. Thank you, OPW and IAC, for being present and giving updates. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, has a great Memorial Day, the unofficial kickoff to summer. Hopefully we have great weather. And we will see you guys next month, June 18th, Brooklyn College. Come dance for the 360 photo booth. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.